What's going on? This is Yancey, author and producer of the This Is Why series. Make sure you go now and subscribe to my website, www.newfacemanagement.org. This is why you go to college.
Face Entertainment.
New Face Family. New Face Family.
This is why you go to college.
New Face Entertainment.
New Face Entertainment.
This is why you go to college.
New Face Entertainment.
This is why you go to college.
This is why you go to college.
This is why you go to college.
Hey, my name is KARMIA Berry. I am representing Queens, New York. Hey, Queens in the building. Currently out here in Long Island. Strong Isle, stand up. Okay. Gosh, my experience. I honestly, first off, Hampton wasn't my first choice, to be honest. I went on an HBCU tour my junior year, and shout out to the brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, because they are the ones that took me on my college tour. We were 3 buses deep, a lot of us, and went to so many different schools just throughout like the East Coast, like along the East Coast down the line. And like I saw like Tuskegee, Alabama A&M, Tennessee State University, FAMU. We went over down to Florida.
Right.
To Florida. But I wanted to go to Howard. We won't talk about that. But anyway.
It's all right. You were young.
I was young. I didn't know any better. And then I saw the light. And so, basically, once I went on the tour and we saw Hampton, I fell in love immediately with the campus, just the structures of like all the architecture of everything. Definitely knew that I could possibly see myself going there, but I had to go back and see it again. So after my college tour experience was done, it was between North Carolina A&T and Hampton, and my mom and I, we went down and showed her, both campuses. At the time, A&T, believe it or not, like their cafeteria was a trailer. And that alone, shout out to A&T now, Aggie Pride, because that alone, their campus is gorgeous. But when I saw the trailer and they just told me a few other things about the campus at the time, I was like, okay, so maybe not A&T. So Hampton was my choice. Hampton was the second school that I actually got into after all the schools that I applied to with HBCUs that I applied to. So just fell in love with it as far as regardless of the rules that Hampton has for young college students, I felt like it was really important. Leaving home for the first time by myself, going off to college, I think that being 18 years old, it was important to have some type of structure, rules and regulations, so that you don't go out there and kind of just lose your mind. I wasn't raised that way to lose my mind, but just in case if I was tempted to, Hampton had been like, slow down. So, but as far as HBCUs, why did I choose an HBCU? Because I did apply to like University of Maryland, College Park.
Okay.
I did apply to schools out here in New York as well, but something about just the celebration of just blackness and what it is to be like black, to be a minority. I think it's something that too often it's not recognized. And there was a time when we couldn't go to school, and so the traditions and what it is to have an HBCU or to have these HBCUs, I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted professors that looked like me to pour into me, because I believe that what they were teaching me was for my betterment. I wasn't just a number. They knew my name. Like, if I didn't come to class, it was known. They were looking for me. I love the fact that Hampton is a smaller school as well, but definitely just like a celebration of being black and what that's like. Every day at Hampton was like a celebration of blackness, like homecoming every single day. So I appreciate my time at the HBCU in Hampton, of course. So yeah, that's why. I love being black. So why not go to a black school and celebrate that every day? I did. I came in as a psych major, and I finished actually a semester earlier. I finished this December of 2004 with psychology. I had an option to either take a class, 2 classes, going into the spring semester, but I'm like, just pile it on. And I finished in December of 2004, but I still rock Onyx 6 to the DEP class of 2005. Yeah.
Being involved.
Oh gosh. Well, thankfully I came down with the family. So my mom came down, dropped me off. But Aaron Clark, he actually we went down together tomorrow. Got him. Aaron and I actually, we packed our things up and we drove down there together. So,
Cool.
He went to James Hall and I went to Virginia Cleveland Hall, and his sister, she helped move me in, and I went to James Hall, I helped move him in and everything else. So that was a pretty dope experience. It was like this reality check of like, wow, this is really happening. And staying in Virginia Cleveland Hall, it's the first and largest female dorm at Hampton University. So it's historic, it's gorgeous, and it has like this beautiful view of like the waterfront. So very, very happy that that's the dorm that I ended up staying in. But no, it was a pretty dope experience. I got there and we had our freshman orientation week. So you're meeting all these people because I didn't go to pre-college.
Like some people did.
Like some people did, like Aaron did. Aaron was telling me, oh man, cuz like yo, there's all these people, man. And so when I came in and I'm seeing all our our class, people already knew each other because they went to pre-college.
Right.
And so kind of having to make yourself like getting where you fit in, being a New Yorker, you kind of already have this attitude of like, I don't really need to talk to anybody. But Virginia's for lovers, so that slowly, that's what they say. That slowly didn't last for too long. But as soon as I got comfortable in that first week, freshman week, I tried out for Majestic Dance Troupe. Like that flyer went up pretty early, and like I think by my second week of school, so we're still like August, maybe going into September at this point, I was already trying out for one of the organizations on campus. So experience with Majestic Dance Troupe, being a freshman, the tryout experience was crazy because we were in Holland Hall in the gym, and you're seeing like the basketball players, football players, like Greeks, just adults, like grown-up people, like grown-ups, like and I'm 17, 18 years old, and it's you had to wear like we had to wear the, what do they call, sports bras and biker shorts, and you're learning this routine for the first time and people are watching you. So it wasn't like a closed audition or a closed tryout. Like people are watching you, not know what you're doing, not getting the steps, and you're just trying your best just to make it work. And then they're like, it was a very humbling, eye-opening experience, especially coming into college. Again, as I said, like by my second week I was trying out for Majestic, but made the team for my freshman year, and was with the team for all of my time at Hampton, and it was great. We formed a sisterhood. Like we had practice every day, so I'm going to class, and then after class I'm going to practice, and that was really my time. And then after that, then I would go and do my work. So I will say that Majestic probably did keep me out of any trouble that maybe I could have possibly gotten into. I just said I'm a troublemaker, but anything outside of just maybe kind of exploring and having opportunities to just kind of be, I think it is important that you're not just going off to college to just like study and do the work. Like I think it is important to join organizations because it really does keep you like grounded in a structure, and it does keep you from like getting into things that maybe you shouldn't be because you have to be somewhere and report and doing something. So it's discipline. So it was good. I loved it. Majestics is dope. Dealing with straight face and going to those parties, once curfew got lifted for us freshmen, I think it was a dope experience. Like it was something about just being amongst other people that had different personalities, but having these parties, getting together, being with a group of folks from home and what you were doing, I think it just made it an easier experience for me to be more open to meeting people, and that's where a lot of like my relationships kind of fostered from going to your parties. So I appreciate that. For real, I appreciate it because you're trying to get in where you fit in, and if parties that you don't know about or you can't necessarily get there because it's the upperclassmen or it's a Greek party and you don't know what you're supposed to do just yet because you want to go Greek. It's just all these different things that could possibly come up, but what you created allowed us as freshmen to really start to get this bond, as a whole, and then of course like the New York crew and everything else. So I appreciate that. So my sophomore year, so it kind of went like, let me go freshman into sophomore year, because I stayed in VC, but then they moved us out of our dorm because they had to like renovate, and then I was in the step show. That was dope. And then I went into Whitehall, and then thankfully, so my sophomore year, I ended up staying in Whitehall again with upperclassmen as well. My roommate, Jennifer Franks, she was a junior. So that was interesting, so you go from being in a dorm with all freshmen, so everybody's the same kind of mentality, different just personalities regarding just where you're from or how you were up, your upbringing, but then to be with someone who's a junior and you're a sophomore. But I thought that was pretty dope to have that, like, you know, dynamic between us, because I learned a lot from her as well, and I hope she learned something from me. But no, I was a student. I was on the student recruitment
SRT.
team.
Yeah, SRT.
I joined SRT. Sir, that's what they say, sir. So I did join SRT, student recruitment team, and that's because I had a love for Hampton.
Right.
You know, I wanted to bring in more New Yorkers or just more students and give the tour, because I remembered again my tour and what that was like, and not to say that they gave me a not so great tour, but because of my experience, because of my love for Hampton, I wanted to, you know, kind of have a say in what the truth of really of the HBCU Hampton University experience was like for me and to incoming possible freshmen.
Right.
So I did join student recruitment team. I was still on Majestic, and that's when I started to kind of look into other things.
Gotcha.
That then my junior year, you know,
There we go.
made it happen.
Okay, so.
We didn't even talk about 9/11.
All right, so let's go back.
So we gotta go back.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with going back.
Okay.
So 9/11 was a whole other aspect as a New Yorker.
Because it's just so many different things that I think, again, like as far as the fostering of relationships, that I don't know if I would have gotten that if I didn't go to an HBCU.
Yeah.
Maybe, possibly, I don't know. It's just the coming together of people. If I would have gone to a PWI, maybe it might have just been like all the black folks that kind of came together. But like seeing an entire campus come together and supporting each other, I mean, it just speaks volumes. No, first of all, the day that we started freshman orientation was the day of, may she rest in peace, Aaliyah, that the plane went down. So I remember that happening and everybody just being like, wait, what? So that affected us. You know, Aaliyah, she's from Brooklyn.
Right.
An amazing artist. And then like
2 weeks later.
It's 9/11. 2 weeks later.
I know exactly what I was doing.
Everybody knows exactly what they were doing. You know, getting up for class, watching TV, being like, something's not right. I mean, I just remember I was still in my room when it happened.
Right.
And my roommate, Amuna, she was from Maryland. So, you know, again, with like, I know like the plane also had hit in Virginia.
Right.
So we were able to bond on that, but also because people's phones weren't working. So you have New Yorkers that are concerned about what's going on. We're not sure like what's, you know, with our parents, family, friends that are back at home, but leaning on each other. Just like, have you gotten in contact with anybody? Can I use your phone? I'm not getting any service. And we just met like all of 2 weeks. But again, that's what I think as a class brought us even closer together. So yeah, I just, you know, 9/11, always 2001, we'll always remember that. We turned the TV and we saw everything. I was like, why don't they just put the fire out? I'm like, oh, that's not a fire.
No.
Oh, wow.
No, that's it.
Oh, this is a plane.
It's a plane.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
and there's a second plane.
We're under attack. All right. Yes. Very, very scary. But again, everybody came together, was very supportive. People using each other's phones, trying to, and just really staying like in contact with each other during that time. As far as Hurricane Isabel, woo! So I was junior year. I was living off campus, Cary Brook, Mary Mac.
Yeah. Roommate. Shatira Smith.
Shout out to Shatira Smith, my bestie.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. And also my other our roommate, Monique McKenzie. Yep.
Hey, Monique, Queens in the building.
That's right, represent. We out here. So, you know, what ended up happening was we didn't leave.
Okay.
But the funniest story, we always tell this story, and honestly, it just came to me. And for those who are spiritual or not, because I am, but we must have just gotten paid. Like, I don't know what happened exactly, but we all decided on that particular like day before or 2 days before that we were each gonna spend $80 at the grocery store.
Okay.
So we all went out, we went grocery shopping, all of us were like, boom, we're gonna get food, drinks, we got the meats, the chickens, the fit, everything. We loaded our refrigerator, our cabinets, everything.
Right.
Thinking like we just were good, you know, we splurged a little bit. And then out of nowhere, this hurricane.
Right.
Like just, maybe we weren't watching the news, but all of a sudden this hurricane comes up. And because we had a gas stove, an oven, when people were leaving, we stayed.
Right.
And we opened up our home.
Right.
To folks, and like our little brothers and sisters, big brothers, big sisters, my boyfriend at the time, you know, everybody just came in. So we thought about it back then, like, yo, we spent all this money and we done wasted it because we had to cook everything, you know, and we ended up giving everything up. People ate everything that we bought. Right. But when you think about it, really, we look at it like, wow, we were given, because we never did that again. We never actually spent the $80 per person ever again, not because we didn't have it. We were just like, you know what, we already learned our lesson. Let's just kind of shop in moderation at the grocery store. But we realized that most recently, believe it or not, like in that moment, Shay and I were talking about it, was like, that must have been like a message from God. Like, y'all need to go ahead and provide for the people because the storm's about to come. And it's just crazy how, you know, I guess when you grow up But
Yeah.
in time, you think about like that was just the purpose of it, and that's what happened.
Right.
You know, lights went out and everything, but we were still able to provide for people. People were still able to eat and to drink, and it was all good.
Right.
We went a little crazy after
It's
about
cabin fever. That's what
Yeah,
it was. It was,
after
it was
about-
definitely cabin fever at the.
day 8. Yeah, it was a little over a week that we had no electricity.
Right.
And after a while, you're kind of like, you know, like right now we're outside and you're doing everything, you're having fun. But once the sun goes down, you're like, and that was happening for like every day for
Every day.
7 days, 8 days, 9 days. And you're just like, when is this going to end?
Right.
We started to actually lose our mind.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, the 12 to 2, it was, again, everything I wanted from an HBCU experience was because of the show A Different World. So I'm seeing and I'm like, yo, this is dope. You know, people's coming together, the DJ, you know, we're chilling, like, and it's, you know, a good time. You get to see all your people. If you had a crush, more than likely he was gonna be there.
Yeah.
So when you knew that this was happening, you're wearing your best outfit,
Yeah.
you know, making sure your hair's good, and then, you know, maybe kind of make sure you get in his eye view. Not me though, because I had a boyfriend by that time. But
Cool.
I'm just saying. But I'm just saying, no, it was a good time. I mean, most of the time I was usually going like and passing through for class and stuff, so I usually couldn't stay too long. But if you had a break, if you ended classes pretty early, listen,
Out there.
that was a turn up. That was a turn up, and I'm happy to see that it is still happening today. I hope people know the reason why
Yeah.
and how it got started and what the purpose of it is. And it was a peaceful event. You know, it was a good time always. A
Right.
good time always had. And I think it's nice. I mean, Hampton is it's a big campus, but it's a small campus at the same time. And you know, being in Hampton, Virginia, there's not many things that happen like immediately outside of the campus, like unless you have a car and you can get to. So again, fostering some type of an opportunity for students to come together and not have to go off and venture off campus,
Right.
to have like that social, you know, opportunity. It shouldn't just be all studying all day, every day. We needed like a break.
Right.
So party.
Yeah,
Why
it was.
not? And it was free.
Yep.
And it was free.
This is day parties before day parties.
Yes.
Basically, that's what it was.
Pretty much. Yeah. I'm a student leader.
Yeah.
First time went out for it,
Yeah.
and I got
I think
it.
she was a reject.
I was not a reject, but apparently I heard that I almost could have been, but I wasn't for doing that. I was a rider.
Yeah.
I slept outside in the tent with my group. But no, it was a great experience, and again, being a part of an organization that was about the students, you know, about making change for the students, you know, being under student activities. I mean, I enjoyed being a student leader, being amongst the elite.
Right.
You know, why not?
Man, yeah, because we interviewed him as well, so it's good.
Aw, I miss him. He was great. He was definitely a rider for us. Definitely a huge advocate, you know, again, for the students, for the campus, you know, went to bat whenever necessary for things that we believed in, that we wanted to bring, you know, to the university when maybe other administrators didn't agree. How it affects college life is that we are the students. We're the ones experiencing, you know, the everyday life, and to have these ideas, visions for what you think would be, what would make campus life more intriguing, exciting. I think it's important to hear from the students and not it be something that comes from up top and we just have to follow through. So if we had an administrator that was like, no, this is my mission, this is what I want it to look like, this is what it needs to be, now you students execute it, I don't really know what campus would look like. It would seem very like, you know, just disciplined and robotic. Like I don't think that would be a good look, but because you do need that structure, you do need an adult, someone who is responsible enough to say, I love your idea, but now let's add this to it based off of what, as an administrator, what it needs to look like within the means and the regulations and protocol of Hampton University. I think it was a really nice blend, and so many things were able to happen because we had an opportunity to share our vision, what we wanted. You're talking to the students, you can bring it back to these meetings, and then you have an administrator that's like, I'm here for you guys, I'm open to hear whatever it is that you guys would like to do, but also I know the administration and protocol and the, you know, what we need to follow. Add it, you know, mix it together, and you get like great
Great
student,
great
campus, great student life. So
Right.
yeah, campus life is dope.
Cool.
When he was there. As a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, my influence actually started from back at home. My guidance counselor, I'm in high school. She is my soror, member of the organization, and you know, this is a woman who was advocating for me to go to college.
Okay.
You know, she was with me, making sure my grades were on point. So to have someone, you know, who's in your corner that's pushing you towards like your next steps in your future, and to be one of Alpha Kappa Alpha, it was like, oh, okay. Take a note. I am a member of the Greater Allen Cathedral of New York, and under pastors Reverend Floyd and Elaine Flake, and Reverend Elaine Flake, she is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So my faith, I was raised in that church, and so to see this woman who is helping me in building my faith and in church, and I'm a part of different organizations within the church, to be in leadership, and you're a woman of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, that was like, check. So there goes, that's my scholastic influence and collegiate influence, and then my faith influence right there. And then shout out to my god sister Michelle Jolanda. Yeah, at the time was Michelle Lawrence, my god sister. She is a woman of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and she is also a graduate of Hampton University.
There you go. And there it is.
And it is. So I pretty much knew that I was interested and wanted, based off of the influence of the women that were around me back at home before I got to campus. And thankfully, it wasn't easy for everybody, but I rushed. I made line spring 2004.
There you go.
And here I am. still rocking out with the organization today. All right, so after graduation, I knew that I wanted to leave Hampton. Most definitely, it was actually very hard. It was hard to leave Hampton, I'm not gonna lie. I
call it the black hole.
Yeah, I was crying. I was hysterical. I had a panic attack. It was all of that because I just had the greatest time. Even though I finished the semester early, when it was actually all said and done with, I was like, wow, what's next? Again, I graduated with a degree in psychology, my bachelor's in psychology, but I knew that there was more that I wanted. And prior to coming into college, I was pursuing acting, and my mom had just said to me, you just have to go off and get your degree, and after you get your degree, you can do whatever you want. Cool. So shout out to moms for believing in me. But no, I came back to New York and went and started to go back into pursuing my acting career, and so I was able to get into film and television, continuing to do that, film festivals. So with that being said, at the same time, as an artist, you still have to just make sure that if things are not going maybe how you might want them to go, how you see them to go, for me, I had a plan B. And so I did actually go back to school while still pursuing my acting career. So I was going to the School for Film and Television, the Stella Adler Studio, both in New York City, and I was at Hofstra University getting my master's in marriage and family therapy.
Okay, cool,
so,
nice.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that about me. Everybody just thinks that I'm an actress, but there's more to me. So after that, just pursuing my clinical while still on the grind, which I think people out here in New York, that's just what we do. We grind, and so I'm going to auditions, but also working as a clinician, as a family therapist. Made my way up to clinical supervisor, again working with young people, and then becoming assistant vice president for a nonprofit organization that empowers young people and family. Doing all of this while still auditioning and filming and everything else. And this was right after college. So for 2 years after I left Hampton, I was actually heavily pursuing my acting career.
Gotcha.
And then I had a moment of wow, and I'll be very honest, I'm seeing my friends around me, and they were buying houses and making really great money post Hampton with just a bachelor's degree. And it was kind of I want that too, but I also knew that I wanted to be happy with what I was doing. And not to say that psychology doesn't make me happy, because it clearly does, and I'm still in that, but I was like, okay, KARMIA, just in case, I feel like I had to be responsible in some aspects of my life, and although I was grinding, I still had a responsibility, and I had responsibilities. So that's when I decided to go back and pursue my master's in marriage and family therapy, but still, again, grinding, because I was also going to school at the Stella Adler Studio for Performing Arts and the School for Film and Television. So I did all of that, and then throughout the 70s, that was, post Hampton, most recent, and then now I'm the founder and executive director of I Am Cultured Incorporated. So I started my own nonprofit organization.
There you go.
I Am Cultured promotes youth empowerment and appreciation for cultural richness and diversity by exposing teenagers to world travel and their community around them, their culture and community around them. So very, very excited. So we've been going for about a year, but we've already been to 2 places. I've taken underprivileged youth to Cuba, and just this past August we went to Belize. A great experience. I Am Cultured, Cultured, it is an acronym, and it's for I am confident, unique, leading, tenacious, unstoppable, regal, educated, and daring. So
there you go.
yeah, I'm really excited.
Nice.
Thanks.
Wonderful.
So, and of course, Hampton, we had our gala this past May, and I mean, Hampton was in the building. Hampton was in the building, without a doubt. I mean, the support that I have from my friends, my peers, classmates, dance mates, sorority sisters, like organizational brotherhood, sisterhood, like they believe in what I'm doing, and they show up and show out, and I appreciate Hampton for that. I don't know if you can get that at any old school, but definitely at Hampton, like they say, it's just different. It definitely is. They support everything that I've been doing, from my acting career to I'm Cultured, my clinical career. I mean, without a doubt, just always rooting for. Definitely think it is a relevant topic. I would say not to be afraid to speak out about your thoughts of, feeling depressed. If there's thoughts of suicide, you're not crazy or off for thinking that way. Believe it or not, it's becoming more normal to have these type of thoughts, and it sounds terrible to even, I guess, to think that that's where we are, but it is becoming more normal. At some point, each of us, even myself, we have come to a place of like feeling like a bit depressed. Some more than others, some it's deeper than others. For some, unfortunately, it becomes too late. And I would just say, don't be afraid to speak out on it, because to know that you're not alone. You're not alone. That's the biggest thing. You're not alone in those feelings. And I heard, I think through social media, they're saying that now New York State is the first state to offer.
Yeah, I wonder if it's true or not, but yeah,
not sure
I did
if it's
see
true.
it.
I mean, we're talking about it because it's relevant. It just came up, I believe.
Just came up yesterday.
Yesterday. But that we're the first state to offer mental health services for like
K through 12.
K through 12. So if it is true, big ups to New York State, because it's important. I mean, it's just so many different things, I think, as teenagers when we were growing up that we had to deal with. But now with like social media, there's just so much more that teenagers really can't be teenagers anymore. They're forced to think outside of that and to grow up before their means and dealing with things that can bring on depression. But just don't be afraid to say anything. Don't be afraid to say anything. For real. Seriously.
Yep.
I would definitely say do your research. First off, do your research. If you're interested in going to college, vocational school?
Yeah, go ahead, everything.
Yeah, college or vocational school. Do your research. Figure out within like your senior year. I think exposure is so important, which is why like programs like I'm Cultured exist, because being taken out of your four walls, you're able to see like different situations that you put yourself in and be like, okay, what am I interested in because of what I'm being exposed to? So I think exposure is everything, but definitely do your research. Try to visit the campus. So if you're able to go on a college tour, it doesn't have to be an HBCU tour, but like for PWIs, just try to like get your feet on like the grounds of the university. Try to, go and sit in a classroom if you can't see the dorms. I think that's important rather than looking only online. I don't believe that you get the true experience. See the students. See if do I feel like home when I walk on this campus? Do I see myself walking through the hallways, passing through over here by the grass, going into this cafeteria? Do I feel like this is home for me? I think that the only way to really know where you're supposed to be is to be exposed to it, to be in it, to experience it. That's when you'll know, like, you know what, this is what I'm supposed to be. So that's really the best advice that I can give when it comes to college. Definitely, I can't say know what your major's going to be, but have an idea. I know some students do go in undecided, and that's okay. But then pay attention to the things that kind of like get your heartstrings going, like, as far as interest for your major, so that when you do get into whatever your college of your choice, that you then do declare a major at some point. Because if not, then your time at the university does extend itself because you didn't know from your freshman year. Telling me that they wanted to drop out, I would first want to see like where we were as far as semesters. So if this is like your first semester or second semester, your second year, I would want to know about like their experiences, what they've been so far. As I said earlier, just going to class isn't really all that it should be about. You should look into joining organizations. If you're not interested in dance or athletics or Greek life, being the fact that you're from wherever you're from, a state, like they have pre-alumni, New York pre-alumni, like try to get with other people who are just like you or from where you're from. I would want to talk about that first. I would say give it a chance. give it a chance. I would make sure like you're not just going to class and going to your room.
Right.
I would want to know exactly what else are you doing while you're there. You know, within your major, if you've made a friend yet, why you haven't made a friend yet, I would want to assess, and maybe that's the psychology in me, I'd want to just definitely assess that just to make sure. But if you don't feel like you are supposed to be there, if it doesn't feel right, and you gave it a shot, you said, listen, I'm a part of this organization, I have one friend. I have one friend, and that's okay. You don't need a bunch of friends, and you still don't feel like this is the place for me, then I would say, all right, well then where do you think you should be?
Right.
Okay. As long as you're not saying I'm giving up me, because education for me is key, but as long as you're not saying that you're giving up on your education as a whole,
Right.
you just don't feel like the choice maybe that you made as far as where you're getting your education from feels like home, then after we've assessed everything, fine. I would say, if that's your wish, go ahead, you know? Go ahead and go on home, but definitely just making sure that you're not just going to class and coming back to your room. There's definitely, I think, friendships, like our friendships, my best friend Shatira, it's because of these people that I wanted to stay at Hampton. You know, I would have missed y'all if I would have left, you know, despite maybe having one bad day or a bad experience, a bad semester, I thought about my friends. And I feel like even in today's time, some people who are in certain workplaces, they may not like their job, but they like their coworkers, and that's actually what keeps some people staying a lot longer than maybe that they should, because they're like, you know, at the end of the day, we have to work, my manager, blah blah blah, but yo, these my coworkers, like, we got something special, and until you feel like I can't take it anymore, you stay and then you leave, if that's what it comes to, or you realize, you know what, it ain't that bad, and then before you know, you graduate and you're done,
And it's over.
and it's over. So I would just say, you know, try it out. Cool.